Hello everyone, this is Dee, Divine Feminine 101. Welcome back to my channel. It's great to be back. Hope you all had a good week. Right, so today I just want to really get into it. It's a bit of a long topic and I'm trying to keep the time quite short. Today we're going to be talking about the most powerful law of the universe. So this law will help you have to be and to do anything you want. So you ready? Let's get into it. Okay, so let's look at the universe for instance. There's so many laws guiding the universe. There's the law of karma. There's the law of gravity. I mean, if you fall from a building, it doesn't matter if you're a good or bad person, you will hit the ground. So I mean, we have so many natural laws and they're so precise. For instance, we can send people to the moon and measure their landing by a fraction of a second. So there are no mistakes. You know, it doesn't matter where you are. You can be in Africa, you can be in Europe, you can be in Asia. We're all guided by one power, one law, and it is attraction. The most powerful law of the universe is the law of attraction. You know, the universe is based upon attraction, and everything you are in life today, even the things you're complaining about or the good things, you've actually attracted to yourself. And I know at first blush it seems like a really difficult concept to grasp, because you know, a lot of people will say, well, for instance, I didn't attract the car accident, I didn't attract the angry person, co-driver I met on the road today, I didn't attract the bills, I didn't attract the debt. And I'm here to be in a little bit in your face and say, yes, you did attract it, based on your thoughts. This is a universe that is based upon attraction. You know, our thoughts send out this magnetic signal into the universe, and it draws the parallel back to us. It means whatever it is you're thinking about predominantly, you're attracting to yourself. You must have heard of that saying, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's also the law of attraction, and it's actually very potent. You know, quantum physics says you can't have a universe without mind entering into it, which means whatever it is you're thinking or feeling is a perfect reflection of what is in the process of becoming. So thank God we live in a universe that allows us this buffer of time. So it's not like you're thinking about it straight away and it appears. No, the universe allows us a bit of a buffer of time, depending on how much you can focus on that which you want, how passionately you focus on it. Now, it's not just about your thoughts. You know, every thought is creation. As you think about it, you're actually creating something, which is why it is so important to keep your thoughts, to be in good vibes, which means you always have to be in a good place, because for every time you're thinking something, whether good or bad, you're in creation. I mean, in my last video I mentioned something that look at the universe as like a genie. You know, even the Bible says it, ask and it shall be given unto you. And the universe, think about the universe like a genie. That storybook, that Aladdin story, I don't know if anybody remembers it. The genie, Aladdin goes to the genie and he robs the lamp, and the genie comes out and says, your wish is my command. So it's still the same thing. You know, what's funny is that I did a lot of study, and the laws of the universe and biblical laws are so alike. That is the funny thing about it. It is so alike that, you know, this it's really about something, you know. So even if you're not from the Christian faith, and which is why I'm actually focusing more on the law of the universe in this session, because it's the video is for everybody. So basically, if you're not of the Christian faith and you're just going via the laws of the universe, you know, you have to be in a very good place, so that your thoughts, you're constantly creating something good, because your thoughts are a feedback mechanism of whatever it is you're in the process of creating. If I create, but to really grasp this concept, let me start over from the beginning. So to create, you have to understand who you are, right? Okay, so I'll break it down from the beginning and let's start over. Okay, so in the beginning, God created man according to the Bible, right? Okay, so I'm just going to go by the biblical way of it. Okay, so God created man, and that's what we understand. So But when God created man, what did he do? He didn't just get up and say, man, get up, and no. What happened was he followed the natural laws. Now let me break it down to you. So how did we get here? We were brought into the world by our parents, right? And our parents being our fathers and our father and our mother. So Mr. John Doe, Miss Janet Doe co-created and delivered a child, girl or boy, doesn't matter. So, but how did that happen? So a man is the giver. He gives his seed, right? And the woman is the receiver. So what a woman does is she receives from the man, she incubates, she nurtures, and then she manifests. How does that work? So there's intimacy between a man and a woman. A man gives a seed, the woman receives it, she incubates it, then she finds out she's pregnant, she nurtures it, antenatal classes and prenatal vitamins and whatnot. And 9 months, the baby comes out, right? Okay, so that's the job of the man and the woman. Now, the man giving his seed, his libido is also called his life force, right? So he gives that to the woman, and the woman is the receiver. Now, we always look at God as God the Father. So now let's look at God the man. Right? Okay, so at the beginning, he created man, but he didn't snap his finger and the man just got up. No. What he did was co-create. He could have done that if he wanted to, but he co-created with the earth. So God took dust of the earth and formed man. Now, that's God the Father and God the man. So God the man, already in his kingdom, he had created everything else. And he looked around and thought, okay, so I need little children to till the ground and worship me and know that I'm their father and I'll do whatever it is for them. But he didn't snap his finger. He took from the earth. That's God the man. Now, when we say the universe, we're subtly also referring to the earth. The universe, for a lot of metaphysics people, maybe don't believe in God, would just rather use the word universe. So I'm also using universe, and when I say that, it's pulling in the entire cosmic family, so to speak. You know, so so the earth, what happens with the earth? So God, you've never heard people say, oh, so God is a she. I mean, people tend to refer to God as a he, being God the Father and God the man, right? Okay, so the earth actually vibrates in feminine energy. What does the earth do? When you plant a seed, the earth receives, the earth incubates, the earth nurtures, and then the tree, your plant, manifests, right? And whatever it is you planted starts to grow. So that's how it is. So the earth vibrates in feminine energy. So what God did in retrospect is God created with the feminine energy and created man. And then what did he do? He breathed into the he breathed into the nostrils of the man, and which is his life force, which is the libido a natural man will give to the woman. That's the life force, and will create a child, right? So which was what God did. So God co-created with the earth and formed man and gave man his life force, and that's how it works. So when you vibrate in a man's men people, okay, let me just keep it simple. Men are very logical, which is their thoughts. Very logical, you know. Men are hardly very emotional. It's all women's things, but women are emotional beings, which is your feelings. So to create anything, you need both your thoughts and your feelings. So think about it. You can't actually create anything without your thoughts and your feelings, which is the masculine and the feminine energy. You need both to create. So it's not really just what you're thinking about. It's really based on what you're feeling about. Because a lot of people have inspired thoughts, but they don't have the emotions to back it up. So you see people saying, oh, how are you doing? Yes, I'm great, life is great, but they're depressed. So people can think good thoughts, but they don't feel good. And you can't create with just one aspect, with just the male energy, which is your thoughts. Men are very logical beings. Like, men are very logical. So basically, that's the thought. Women are very emotional. So that's your emotional side of it. So you need both to actually create and manifest good things in your life. You need both that masculine energy for creation. So thinking good thoughts is not going to bring in or draw in good things to you. You need to think it and you need to feel it as well. And how do you know what you're thinking about or what you're creating? How do you feel? If you say you feel great, then great, keep doing that, because that's what you need to create. You need to be in the place of good feelings, of good vibes, which is why it's very important who comes into your space. So you have to constantly be in a place of good vibrations, because your feedback mechanism, and that's how you know what you're creating, tells you exactly what you're creating. So what's your emotional guidance system, which means your emotions, your emotional guidance system. You're either in a place of good emotions or bad emotions. So what's good emotions? That feeling of hope, of joy, of love, those are good emotions. And what are bad emotions? That feeling of frustration, anger, envy, whatever it is, there is negative. That's so when you're in that bad emotions, or you're depressed, or you're not feeling really good about yourself, you just have to keep in mind that whatever it is you really want out of life, you're out of alignment with whatever it is you want out of life. Because to be in a bad place, you cannot be in alignment. You cannot bring in good things. So you're not aligning with your heart's desires. So it's very imperative that you stay in a place of good vibes, because every thought has a frequency. You can actually measure your thoughts. So it depends on. So if you can measure your thoughts, you always have to keep your thoughts in a good place. However, you cannot measure your thoughts. What you have to do is go with your emotional guidance system, and just know that you're in a good place, you feel good, and that way you're constantly attracting something good into your life. So think about it this way. The Bible says, ask and it shall be given unto you. And the universe also says, whatever you ask and you believe it in totality, you will get. So have you ever, I don't know how many parents we have on here, if you're a parent, think about it. Like, your child is asking you for something. It's going to be very difficult as a parent not to be able to give your child or provide for your child. So, now it takes us back to the original story of creation. If God, it really is your father, and the earth that we live on, the earth is also referred to as Mother Gaia, so if the earth serves as a Mother Gaia, and God, the Father, the Creator, the Source, is your father, you can have anything you want. You can have anything you want, and you don't necessarily even have to ask, because the Bible also says God does not look at our actions and our words, he looks at our hearts. So it's what we have in here that goes in here and forms our actions. So if in the story of creation, like I said before, God is the Father and the earth, Mother Gaia, whatever it is you're asking or you want, you will get. The only problem is it depends on how you feel. So the universe always says, your wish is my command. Now, that wish does not matter if it's good or bad. It will bring the same thing back to you. So if you're in a bad place and you're thinking bad, negative thoughts, it's bringing more of that negative thoughts to you, because that's what you're asking for. It's just, imagine your child goes to the father and starts crying and being all emotional and says, Daddy, I want this, or whatever it is. Most likely, because men are very logical, he might get a bit irritated and going, just use your words. I need to understand what it is you want. Now, which will form your thoughts. So the child just goes, okay, Daddy, I think I need this, However, the child can go to the mother and be all emotional and whatnot. The mother would understand it being an emotional being, So your thoughts, God hears your thoughts. He hears everything. To actually give you what it is you want, you also need the feminine part of it, which is your feelings. Which is, a lot of people say that to connect with God, even in prayer, you have to use your emotions, because everything is based on your mind. It's the power of your mind. Your mind is your thoughts and your feelings. So you need both to actually create. Which is why, when a lot of people are going on a self-love, a journey to self-love, and you're trying to find yourself and love yourself more and whatnot, you can't escape. But what is self-love? It's union with oneself. You can't have union with yourself if you're not in union with God. He gave you that life force. He gave you that libido. That's the original father, the original source, the original creator. And you cannot have union with oneself if you don't have union with people, the universe. People being, we came from dust, we're going to return to dust. Everybody is dust. So that's, if you're good to your neighbors, that's being good to the earth. So in a funny kind of way, when the Bible says honor your father and your mother, you start from your ethereal father and mother, which is the God and the earth. And to honor the earth is not actually saying go and worship the earth. It's just be kind to your fellow brothers and sisters. So there's no point to hate and envy. This is a universe it's abundant. It's an abundant universe. We all want different things out of life, and we can have fun with it. Imagine the universe is like a catalog, and then you just write your list out of the catalog of life. Like, I want this car, and I want this experience, and I want to live in Paris, and we all want different experiences, so you can have fun with it. Imagine you have a catalog out of life, and you can just write your list, and based on how good you feel about it and how passionately you can focus on it in a good way, you're going to be creating it. The difference is that there's a bit of a buffer of time. And what happens with a lot of people is when it's not manifesting straight away, then people lose hope and say, oh, it's not working. And guess what? Your wish is my command. So it's whatever you ask for, whatever you say it is. If you say it's going to happen, it will happen. If you say it won't happen, it won't happen. So we all want different experiences. Some people want to have like 200 cars parked in their yard, and that's great. If I'm using myself as an example, I would rather an experience as opposed to if I had my good car and my good home and my comfortable home and whatnot. Everything else I want is experience. I want to travel the world, go to all the wonders of the world, and that for me is living a great life. I want to experience. I prefer experiences to so many assets. I mean, have the comfortable stuff, but what I would wish for would be great experiences, not so much the assets or whatever it is. So we're all very different. So there's no need to hate on the next person and just bring people down and whatnot. Do you understand? Because the grass does not string to grow. Everything is in abundance. So a lot of people that are new to this concept will now have to start to wonder, so do I have to monitor my thoughts? No, you don't have to. There's your emotional guidance system. It tells you if you're feeling good or you're feeling bad. Because creation, for every time you have a thought or a prolonged thought, you're actually creating something. However, the signal the universe gets is how you're feeling about it. So if you're in a depressed state or you're unhappy, that's the emission you're sending out to the universe. You're creating more of how bad it is. So it doesn't really matter what you're holding on to in your mind. Like, for instance, if you're thinking, oh, I want that car, but deep down you're thinking, oh, I'm so depressed, I don't have money to buy that car. You're not manifesting the car. What you're doing is sending out signal that you don't have a car, there's a lack, and you can't actually get a car. And what would happen is every time you get money, you will use the money for something else but the car. So that's how it works. It's the craziest thing. So the only thing you have to really understand or monitor is how you feel. So your emotional guidance system tells you how you feel. Do you feel good or do you feel bad? You know, so that feeling of frustration and anger and depression, and those are bad frequencies. So that feeling of hope, of love, of joy, of just knowing that, yeah, I might not have today, but I might have loads tomorrow, you know, is good frequency. The assignment, so to speak, is to make sure that you're always in that place of good frequency. So how does this tie to what we've been talking about with toxic people or narcissists or whatever it is? The thing is, you should be very aware of who is in your space and how they make you feel. Because if you're constantly in a state of anger and depression and sickness, you're not manifesting anything good. I've been saying this from the beginning. Now I'm breaking it down because, you know, for every time you have a prolonged type of thought, you're actually creating. So if you're in a prolonged state of unhappiness or depression, you're creating more of how bad it is. What would happen is, once that person is out of your life, you tend to manifest somebody else. So it's just the same bullshit on a different day, the same behavior in a different body, basically. So that's what you keep manifesting until you break that pattern and you come out of that and you start to have good feelings. So this is still a very long topic. I just want to keep it very short, but at least we get the concept of it. Feel good, manifest good. Feel bad, create more of our bodies. So thank you. Have a lovely day. Love you all. Bye.